Happy Monday, everybody, and also a happy St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to another episode of What's for Dinner Tonight. Now, tonight I had originally planned, get that glare out of there. Yes, I cleaned my vans. Aren't they pretty? They're clean, they're sparkly. Well, sort of. Better than what they were. But anyways, I had originally planned to do an Irish stew for dinner with lamb, but unfortunately they did not have the lamb stew meat that I was looking for, but they did have ground lamb. So instead of doing the Irish stew, we're going to make a hearty lamb noodle soup tonight for dinner. So there's going to be some changes in the recipe. As for, I'm not going to be using onions, I'm going to be using leeks instead, because that's what I originally acquired for the stew. But before I go into it, I want to thank you for everybody who's taken the time to watch my videos last week. It meant the world to me. Even if you only were only able to watch for a minute or 2 minutes, it doesn't matter. It was a big help for me, and I thank you and I appreciate you. Now, I'm going to be posting. I'm going to try on Mondays to be posting like a little menu photo for what to expect for this week. Now, I will let you know that as of next Monday, I am returning to work. So my daily meals videos might change because I don't know how work is going to impact this yet. This Thursday, I do have physical therapy. So we're going to be doing something simple Thursday for dinner, but something that can be done. Yeah. I think that's about covers all that I had to say. So, within doubt, let's get started. So, sorry for the little brief photo of my corner there. So, I got started by pulling out all my seasonings. So, we have garlic. I don't have any celery. So I'm going to be using celery salt instead. I had acquired this for a school recipe when I had to make coleslaw. And I had to dig through my cupboards to find it because I knew I had it. Okay. Onion powder. Oregano. Lard. That's what we're going to be using. We're going to be using a tablespoon of this to fry the ground lamb in, along with the seasonings. And I have a rule of thumb: you season everything. So you season your meat, and then you season your veggies and broth with the same seasonings you use for your meat. Okay, over here I have my carrots and leeks. The carrots I have to peel, rinse, and chop. Same with the leeks. Leeks need to rinse and chop as well. This is going to be a crock pot recipe. I'm not going to be doing it on the stove because I have some cleaning things I have to do in between, so I can't babysit it on the stove all day. Once I'm done getting everything set up here, I got to go upstairs and try to conquer my mountain load of laundry. This knee injury has put me on the back burner a little bit, but I do have to start getting acclimated to doing things so that way I'm not as tired and sore when I go back to work next week. But I know what you're all saying. You need to take it easy. You need to sit. Now, the doctor said that I only can do simple ADL tasks. So most of the day I do sit and relax. So for this 20-minute period that you see me doing these videos, that's pretty much the only time I'm really up doing anything. And laundry is just folding it so I can sit on my bed and fold my laundry as I watch TV. So that's kind of not really up and on it. So, alrighty. Oh, the other ingredient that I have not done yet is you're going to need 3 cups of beef broth, but I do not have beef broth, so I'm going to be doing 3 cups water. And 2 teaspoons of this for my beef broth. Okay. Other ingredients you're going to need for this, and I forgot to mention, is you're also going to need a cup of milk and 1 pound of ground lamb. Now, if you don't want to do lamb, you can use this recipe and you can do ground beef. If you want to use this recipe to do like a hearty chicken noodle soup, you can replace the beef broth with chicken broth and replace the substitute the ground lamb and beef for ground chicken or some type of chicken. Okay, so I got my pot of water on the stove. I'm going to get that boiling to do my beef broth, and while I'm waiting for that,
gonna get started on the vegetables.
Yeah, I am sorry for the lack of being able to view what I'm doing throughout these videos. I will be at some point working on getting better cameras. Right now, all I have is my phone, so that's what we have to work with. And I use an editing app on my phone that helps me edit the videos. Now, to throw the band off, that might be important. Now, for the leeks, I only use the white part. I keep forgetting these things are already cut. I will save the green stuff because sometimes the rule of thumb that I learned in school, when you do garnish for a food that you tend to eat, make sure the garnish is edible because otherwise it's a waste. Okay, I'm going to go move these over here for now. I have no idea what to use these for because I don't usually use these. I think I'm going to have to grab a sharper knife. Be right back. Yes, my knives are dull. They need to be sharpened. I think my other knife is in there. My good knife. Oh yeah, I guess we're using that one because I don't know where my good knife is. It's around here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to cut the ends off of those. Okay. Now, I'm going to go quickly give these a rinse. Always, always, always rinse your veggies before using them. It washes off all the dirt. And not just that, but I always wondered what they put in those spray things when you go to this. You know how when you go to the grocery store and you're in the produce section and you know every once in a while they get minced on by like a water spray to keep them wet and from drying out. Sometimes I wonder if they have a little soap mixed in there because that would explain why fresh herbs to me taste rather you know, soapy. Gotta dice these up small. This is an onion that I'm going to be using for this. My husband is not a huge fan of onions, so I'm probably going to let the leek dry, and I'm probably going to save it for another time. Because yeah. I want my family to enjoy it too. I got to make sure I, you know, cook amongst what they like as well, not just what I like. I mean, it's going to be in the crock pot all day, so if I cut these small enough, hopefully it'll just liquefy in the soup. It won't be so chunky. And it's kind of funny when I cut onions because I can cut red onions and they don't do anything to my eyes, but white onions and leeks tend to. Alright. Okay, we're going to move you over here. Sorry for the funk. Everything's just falling down in my kitchen. That's just what happens when you have a small area in which to work in. Okay, so my water is boiling for the broth. We're going to turn this down on low. I hope to God we can get this thing open. Oh, look at that. Yellow for teaspoon. All right. One. Actually, we're just going to go with 3. But I'm not putting a whole heck of a lot of salt on this, so we'll let the broth do all the work. We'll let all the broth do all the flavoring work. One thing that school also taught me is to learn how to flavor your meals with ingredients, not just necessarily seasonings. Seasonings are great and they're wonderful, but there's a lot of things in the seasonings that make people's health go bad. I'll be right back. Alrighty. I need a whisk. 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 I'm going to do it this way. Sorry, I'm still new to this. Trial and error. Whisk this up. And turn this off because it's hot enough. So we have 3 cup broth, 1 cup milk. We're also going to be using elbow noodles for this, but I will not be putting those in. I typically, with a crock pot soup, I will cook my noodles separately on the stove and then add them to the soup later, so that way I can keep my broth. Because we all know that, like, with stuff such as rice and noodles, if you put it in the soup too early, it'll absorb all the liquid. And I gotta, that's another thing too, to remind myself to have I'm also gonna have an extra pot of broth on hand while the soup is cooking, so that way, if with all the seasonings and stuff in it, so that way, if I need to add more broth throughout the cooking process, I can add more broth. And it's okay if it won't be at temperature, because the crock pot will heat it up pretty quickly. I just don't want it to, yes, you don't want it to affect the temperature of the food, but I've never made this before. I'm not even using a recipe. I'm just winging it. Okay. Okay, we are going to keep this for now because I'm going to add it to the pot with the cream and stir it. And I'm going to put my seasoning. I'm working out the details in my head still. So, okay, we're going to pause on the veggies for a minute. Sorry. I'm thinking. Like I've said, I've never done this recipe before, so we'll figure it out. Right. Okay, I got it figured out. We're going to finish cutting the veggies. We'll add those into the pot. Then we'll cook up the lamb. Add that into the pot. Then we'll add this. We'll put the seasonings and the cream in the pot there and mix it all together when we're ready. And then we'll add everything to the pot and not just let it do its thing. And we'll just see how this goes. If it doesn't work out, then I know for next time what to do differently. So I need to grab a bowl for all these veg. All right. Peeler for carrots. Okay, so I'm done with the leeks. My husband's never had leeks before, so I'm not sure if he's even gonna like them, but this is what we're using. I don't have any cabbage either, so peel these. Peel your carrots, don't peel your carrots, don't care. That I peel mine because I do not like the outer layer of the carrots. I remember as a kid, we used to have gardens, and I would always grab a carrot and eat it right from the first time I grabbed a carrot and ate it straight fresh from the garden. I just couldn't get past the dirt taste. The dirt. Because I couldn't taste carrot. All I could taste was dirt. So ever since then, I've always peeled the outside of my carrots first. So we're going to peel these, then we're going to rinse them, and then we're going to chop them. So here I've got 3 large carrots. I do keep a bundle in the fridge because I use them for a lot of different things. Stews, soups. I also use them, probably going to get back into making my own stocks and stuff, broths and stuff again. So I don't have to keep buying that better than bouillon stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's good. But nothing beats homemade. And I do know how to make homemade chicken broth or chicken stock and beef stock. I think that, well, broth, I think there's a difference between stock and, I think stock is like is from the bone. As broth is like oils and stuff from everything. I did learn the difference in school, but that was a few semesters ago. Why am I peeling this so slow? Because it's just it's just who I am. I don't do anything fast. All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to go empty off my cutting board. Let's go rinse these off, and then we'll cut them. The cutting begin. Should be about maybe like Ooh, that's a lot of work. All right, so I'm gonna go dump, without dumping them on the floor, dump them into the crock pot, not the floor. Over to the side. I might cut up the other half of that. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut up the other half of this at least. Gonna add this into the crock pot. Now you guys can't see very well, so I'll move you over here. There we go. I also have to learn what the good angles are for this. I have to put the crock pot here so it's not in front of my husband's coffee machine. He's all home today. He had a little, let's see, he had an incident, him versus the grill, and it didn't go very well yesterday. So he's home mending some burns to his face. It's nothing serious, I promise. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some seasoning on the veg. See, when I do this, I season, I need my sea salt, sorry, you're back. Okay, so when I do seasonings, I tend to season in layers. So we're gonna start off, I have my leeks and my carrots inside the pot. So we're gonna add some garlic powder. Oregano. We're also gonna use the same seasonings to season the meat. Celery salt, go light on this. Did not look light, but that's okay. I'm gonna use some onion powder. Like I said, I don't have celery, so we're gonna use the light on that because we put seasoned salt in it. So, okay, we're gonna leave this alone. We're going to put all these over back to the stove because now we have to cook the lamb. Okay, now we're getting started on the lamb. I'm going to use this style pan. Ground lamb. Okay. So we're going to turn this on to about medium heat. About a tablespoon. About that much. And kill everyone's ears, drums with the bang. Most important. Open this. Yeah. This way. I don't have one of those chopper things, so I use a spatula, which this is good. And then you're going to brown this until there is no pink. I'm going to turn this down a little lower. I'm going to move them both over here because we're about to do the broth in just a moment too. At the same time we're doing this, do not put this on the dirty counter. Not dirty, but it's not the point. Okay, we're gonna add the same seasonings to the meat that we used on the veg. And powder, celery salt, garlic, pinch of sea salt. All right. Actually smells pretty good. It smells like beef. Alright. A little higher to get that going. We're going to turn this back on a little bit for the broth too. I should have kept it one, but that's okay. Actually, we don't even need to do that because it's going to heat up in the crock pot anyway, so it's all good. Alright. I am not going to add salt to this whatsoever because there's enough between the meat and the veggies. There should be more than enough salt. And the broth itself. So we're going to do some onion powder, oregano, garlic, might add just a pinch more of the celery salt, but not too much. Actually, to make sure I don't add too much for this time. Put that to the side. Give this a good whisk. There. The lamb is cooked, degreased. Now we're going to throw it in the pot. going to add the pot of broth to it. Give it a stir. Reuse this paper plate. All right. Butter in. We're going to cook her on low for about 8 hours. On low, I'm going to cook on low for about 8 hours. So, see you then. Okay, the soup is just about done. One thing I forgot to mention, this is not a recipe that you want to leave the house with. Leave the house and let cook. Because you do have to skim the fat out of it from time to time. So you don't really need to sit there and watch it, but like every 2 to 3 hours you got to come out here and scoop the fat out. I have my pasta cooking on my elbow noodles cooking on the stove. Put my lid back on this for now. I just skimmed off some of the fat. With the noodles, you don't want them all the way cooked. You want them a little bit more than halfway cooked, but not fully cooked, so that way they can cook the rest of the way in the pot, you know, to absorb some of the juices so the noodles have more flavor. My son requested grilled cheese sandwiches to go with the soup, which, hey, soup and grilled cheese. Who doesn't like soup and grilled cheese? But I'm not going to show you that, but while the noodles are in there doing their thing, I'm going to make the grilled cheese. So we'll be back with the final product. But before we go, let me give you a look at what the soup itself looks like. Alrighty. Just going to use this spoon and give it a little stir. I will be topping my soup with some Parmesan cheese and some chives, because I do like a little extra crunch in my soup, not necessarily always crackers. But here you go, and we'll be back shortly when it's finished. See you in a bit. And here we have it, our hearty lamb noodle soup with some grilled cheese.
Yeah.
We have accommodated how the grilled cheese is. How's the grilled cheese, bud?
It was so good.
So good?
Yeah.
Now we gotta try the soup, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Take small bites, it might be hot.
So good.
It's so yummy.
Yeah.
It actually is pretty good. And there you have it. Another yummy meal at home. On a chilly day like today, nothing's good for the soul like a good grilled cheese and soup. You have a wonderful day. See you all tomorrow. Say bye.